Yo, 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 welcome back. Welcome back. My. Yeah, you know what? Real talk. I planned on doing the show yesterday and I was going to talk about unemployment and everything like that. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to take me a quick nap, just real quick, ate me a little something, little salmon, some vegetables. I was actually proud of myself. Didn't eat no bullshit junk, nothing like that. But I was like, you know what? We get a little shut eye, get bright eyed for the show and everything like that. Yeah, 2 o'clock went to like 11 o'clock, went to like 6 in the morning. Man, I swear. So, anyways, let me go ahead and talk about the unemployment I was going to talk about yesterday, real quick, and then we can jump into the Trump Supreme Court cases. So, yeah, on some real shit though, unemployment is really, really out of control. Yes, yes, I had to get the serious tone. Nah, but for real though, like 36 million claims. That is what we are up to right now. Another 3 million have come in per reports stated yesterday. Yes, that shit is mind boggling, y'all. Over 10% of the population is seeking unemployment right now. 40%, excuse me, of individuals who have lost their jobs were making under $40,000. Damn, I don't know where the burps coming from. Compared to 19% who were making between $40,000 and $100,000. Regardless of what you're making, losing your job it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's rough out here. So with that being said, we really need to look into some type of packages that need to come out ASAP. Like ASAP, like Rocky and Ferg and the mob. Like, yes, for my hip hop fans, y'all get that. But I'm just saying, like, real talk. Like, we need to combine what Ro Khanna was saying and what Senator Howley was talking about. Like, we need to do the Get America Back to Work, and then we need to do the Get America the motherfucking money plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to figure out whether it's $1,200 monthly or if it's 2,000 monthly, whatever it is. We got to figure something out because 42% of jobs that have been shut down are looking at being shut down permanently. Yes, I said that. Permanently. Y'all, that is crazy. Like, that's not a 3 month, a 6 month, a 9 month, 2 year plan to reopen. That is shut down for the permo. Y'all, like, this shit is getting crazy, and it's only gonna get crazier. Like, who knows where we're gonna be next week and the week after when it comes to unemployment. Um, but as far as easing back into work for the jobs that are attempting to do such, there is a study that some economists out of London were proposing, and it's called the 10-4 model. And you go to work for 4 days, and then you will be off for 10 days. And I know that sounds weird. You're like, wait, 10 whole days? Like, do we get paid? Still some things to work out. But what they're thinking as far as the health part of it would be that if you were to catch it within the 4 days, you would be off for the 10 days for the contagious period, so you wouldn't have to really worry about giving it to somebody. And then when you came back, you could continuously do this to ease yourselves back into a 4 or 5 day work week. But I'm pretty sure most people who have found a way to work remotely are probably asking their companies, like, what do we need to come back for? Like, why can't we just keep working remotely? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know it's a good question, but seeing as I gotta take my ass to work, I ain't asking it. But if you are working remotely and you're sitting here kind of like questioning, like, I've been at my company like 4 or 5 years. They always maybe come to work, but all of a sudden this pandemic hits, and they got the logistics and the resources and everything to work remotely. What the fuck? I know, interesting, but aside from that, we really need to figure out a solution. Yes, a solution to this problem that unemployment has caused, or that is the unemployment problem. My bad. But yeah. So, like I said, we will talk about the Trump Supreme Court cases. So, there's three cases that and his my bad. Trump and his lawyers are appealing. They are appealing two subpoenas from congressional committees and one subpoena that is coming from a New York grand jury. This Grand jury is seeking records for a criminal intent to see if he did anything prior to becoming president that might, be cause for concern, might be cause for criminal investigation and stuff like that. Now, all of these subpoenas that are being appealed at the Supreme Court level now have all lost in lower courts, and this is basically Trump's last, attempt to a degree. There's ways that there could be kicked back down, but and that would actually suck if it did get kicked back down because it would take so much longer for it to get back to the Supreme Court that by that time, even if they ruled that the documents would have to come out, the election would already be over. And that's kind of something that Trump and them are hoping to do. They're trying to stall. So if they can't get it kicked back down, there's another statute that they're attempting to do, and it's basically a reasonable, like type of like a damn, I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but you got to have a real reason to attempt to subpoena the records that would give a relevant amount of evidence to wrongdoing or criminal intent. So it's basically a loophole because you have to guess that the information that you're attempting to recover would probably have criminal information. And if you already know it has criminal information, then you wouldn't be attempting to get it because you'd already have it. So, yeah. So it's something like that. And it looks like that might actually be the statute that the Supreme Court splits on. But good old, Ruth, she was stating that, there's another statute about no man's evidence is really above prosecution or investigation, and the fact that they were able to subpoena the Oval Office calls and records for Nixon, and that they were able to subpoena information for the Paula Jones harassment of Clinton and stuff. No, Clintons, man, that's some nasty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so basically, like I said, these on face value are subpoenas that are seeking financial records from the president prior to being president to see if there's anything that happened. What they're really testing is presidential immunity. Now, what that means is, does the president really live above the law? Now, if you recall, back in 2016, President Trump said that he could shoot somebody in the face on Fifth Avenue and not get prosecuted. And that is exactly what the lawyers are arguing, that when you are president, that since you are president, you cannot be tried criminally, because then you would have so many courts that are consistently harassing you and attempting to sue that you wouldn't be able to act out your day-to-day, jobs and things like that. And I say, if you're not a criminal, then you're probably not getting sued by that many people. But, what do I know? So yeah, it's interesting. This is a very, very, very important case right now because it could change precedents. It could literally give the president a sense of unlimited power when one is in the Oval Office, and it will completely shift that power of checks and balances. It will completely erode it because it will say that no matter what happens when this person right here is in office, we cannot criminally investigate them. We cannot look into them as a criminal suspect. So it doesn't matter if it's war crimes. It doesn't matter if he shoots somebody literally in the middle of the face in Fifth Avenue. It doesn't matter if it's financial crimes. It doesn't matter what happens. If he burns down his own hotel for arson, it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. And unless Congress can impeach him, which we've already seen happen, not because it's Republican motherfucking held, Senate. So it's like, nah, we're not going to do that. So if Trump wins re-election and then these documents come out and it doesn't really matter what they show because he would already be in office, prepare yourselves for a very, 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 very bumpy next 4 years because this is sickening. We don't really know what the Supreme Court is going to do, but when they do finally hand down that decision, y'all, whew, just brace yourselves. Just brace yourselves. Goddamn. I'm almost at a state of shock, y'all. Like I'm sitting here like really thinking about it. Like for as long as I can remember, like I was in school, right? And they were always like, there's checks and there's balances. You got your three. My bad. Your three branches: judicial, executive, legislative. And it's like they all can keep the other from getting too much power and this, that, and the other. But from what I've seen since this man took over, it doesn't appear to be really checks and balances because when you have one party who rules two houses, or the when you have a party that really runs the Senate and the executive branch, it's like it doesn't really matter about anything else. But these people have the Supreme Court too. So when you have one party that is basically ruling all facets of government, does anybody see a problem with that? Like anybody see a problem with that at all? Ah. And then when you add into the fact that maybe, just maybe, we might give this person some monarch-like power to where he can do whatever he wants, it sets itself up for failure. We're setting ourselves up for failure. So, whenever we figure out what happens with the Supreme Court, and whenever we figure out how to deal with this unemployment, maybe they'll hit each other on the same day to kind of balance themselves out. But I doubt it. Because the way 2020's been going, y'all, woo, June got some shit in store for our ass.